Okay, so here we are. We are going to use this, and we are going to discuss the 5 things I wish I knew about parenting before I became someone's mother. Okay, so the first thing that I wish I knew about parenting before I became a mom um, was like, don't judge your kid. And when I say judge, it's not like, you like judging them in a negative or positive way. It's like, don't judge them at all in any way for anything, about anything, with anything, like allow them to just kind of be who they are. Allow them to live for themselves. Allow them to make their own stupid fucking decisions, because they're gonna, just like I did, just like your mom did, or my mom. I'll use myself, but just like everyone does. That like comes with the territory, and it's like, we are so conditioned to just feel like, oh, whatever I say is what this kid has to do, and it's like, out of respect, yes, you want your children to listen to you and to mind the things that you say and to do things because you feel like you know more. And in essence, you do, because you're a little bit older, blase, skippy. But the reality is that they have to live for them. They come here with their own soul contract. They come here with their own life plans. So you don't really, we shouldn't, or I feel like I shouldn't. I didn't know that I was supposed to just kind of like live and let live. That's something that I really did learn in the process of being a mother, was to just kind of live and let live. You know what I mean? And guide, but not judge. Like, guide them towards the things that you know to be correct. Guide them in the sense that, they're gonna make bad decisions. Thus, the entire world does. But it's not the end of the world, and they're not the only one making poor decisions, even when you think they are. And also, I feel like when you just love your kids instead of like having any judgment or too strong of an opinion about the decisions that they make. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm talking about much older children. Not talking about like no baby. I'm talking about like a young adult, a person that is in sound mind, and they can handle themselves and the decisions that they make. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a child. I mean, you definitely don't want to judge a child, but I'm saying like you want to allow them to make the decisions that they need to make. You don't want to feel like they're incapable of making decisions just because we don't agree with them. You know what I mean? Because I made that mistake with my daughter and didn't go good. Okay. Now, the second thing that I wish I knew about parenting before I was a parent was like, I never compared my children, but sometimes they feel like you got a favorite, so they tend to compare themselves in that way. So never compare your kids. Never allow your kids to think or feel like you love another one of them more. Like, because the truth be told, I don't have a favorite, but if I told my kids who my speckled pup was, they wouldn't believe me. They think I was lying to them. Just because they're my kids. So I know who needs to be treated like what. I know who needs a little bit more, reinforcement. I know who's my tough, my brave heart. Like, And I feel like that's like what us moms know about our kids. And even dads, you know, no slight at the fathers, because some situations are where the father is heavier of the primary caregiver. So no slight towards dads, but I'm just saying, like, we know what kid needs what, especially if we're really like active and really on this kid, and you know what I'm saying? Like, we know. We know. And to add to that, like, never let them like tell you who your favorite is either. Like, never let them tell you, oh, you love Jessica more, or you love, you know, my brother the most. Don't let them do you like that, because they will. They gonna tell you who they think your favorite is, and then you supposed to be like, oh, you're right. Like, no, you're wrong. I love all of my kids the most. I do. I love all of them the most, but individually. They're individuals. So I don't compare them in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Not only because it's two boys and a girl, but I mean, two girls. Oh, shit. Two girls and a boy. But because it's like, they're different humans. Like, they're different. Even my girls are different people. Like, what? They are two completely different humans in every way, on top of being 15 years apart. That's the dumb shit I did. But the rest of it, you know, so it's kind of like, you just don't want to ever let them have that feeling or thought process that you love one more than you love the other or the others. Like, no, you don't even want the kid that thinks that they're your favorite to feel like that, because then they gonna be doing stupid shit, because they like, well, mom's not gonna get that mad at me. Mom ready to kill you just like she be ready to kill the other kids. That's how mom be feeling. Okay, now I am going to open, I got some Huda concealers. I don't know which one is the color though. I mean, not know. So I'm going to start with Toasted Almond 53G, just because it is in the middle. It's the middle color. So I feel like this is probably going to be closer to my skin tone. I do have to keep in mind this is the winter months, so this is as light as it get for my color. So if a color is too light for me now, it ain't gonna never work. I do declare this is light-skinned enough. And this is, again, what did I say? Toasted Almond 53G. I feel like this color, like, I don't need two colors with this color. So, yeah. I'm always trying a new concealer brush, but between this one and another favorite, I will not tell a lie. This is another favorite. This is not even a concealer brush. This is a pointed foundation brush, and this is really good for concealer. And then, of course, my magic wand. So now the third thing that I learned while parenting, or that I wish I knew, or wish that it came in a parenting handbook that we never get, is that, like, don't expect nothing from your kid. Like, all you can expect from them is to love you, and you have to give them that love back in order to receive it wholeheartedly. Like, you know, like, I'm a strong believer that your kid later in life, they give you just as much time, love, and effort as you gave them in their youth. Like, you know what I mean? If you were a parent that didn't have time for your kid, or you're always busy, always going out, always doing this, always doing that, then I do feel like the child will pay you that back. They will pay you back the same dust that you gave them. And I mean, it's kind of poetic justice. It's like, you can't, that's the truth of not expecting more from, you know, if expecting more from a person than you gave was a person, it'd be a kid that you didn't spend no time with, but yet you want them to give you all their time as they grow. Because once a man, twice a baby. And it's just not realistic to have that expectation of a child, especially a growing person that you didn't give that type of time and energy to. Like, they ain't got nothing for you. And to be surprised that they ain't got nothing for you is more surprising. So when I say teach them things, but don't expect anything from them, I just felt like when I was parenting, well, I mean, I still am. It's like, never stops. But I always felt like, you know, in parenting, you just kind of like I said, sometimes we just expect, like, we expect them to be so successful. We expect them to go out in the world and get a college education that you have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for. We expect them to do the smart thing and not, you know, get their heart broken. We expect them to, did you do any of that shit? Like, I didn't. I didn't do everything she wanted me to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't on purpose. It wasn't like I was doing it to spite her. I was just doing it because this was my first experience in life, you know, like my first life experiences. So I feel like in that, we have to be mindful that this is their first life experience. This is what I learned from the process. Now, those are the things I wish I knew. I wish I knew, like, you can't expect more from this kid than you can give. Like, ma'am, you was fucked up. Like, you was doing stupid shit. You was, you know, doing stupid stuff. And it wasn't on purpose. It was just the experience. You just living. You're just figuring it out. So, you know, we got to just kind of like I feel like if I had known that, you know, you just got to be a little bit more gentle. They figuring it out too. The only thing to expect from the child is love. Maybe, you know, maybe motherfucker can't read. Maybe he dyslexic. You ever think about that? Maybe he want to do better, but the cloth ain't cut like that. You ever heard of a bad apple or a bad seed? Not saying that you have a bad apple or a bad seed. Not saying that I do, because I do not. I'm saying that some people just cut a certain way, and it's just like, we can't be mad that they cut like that. Like, hey. So as the parent, as the vessel that brought them here, your job is to just do your best to try to understand and help them through, and however you can, you know, without, I'm not saying be like allow them to be codependent or not make them, you know, go and figure life out. I'm just saying the way that they figure life out, have grace for it. Okay. The fourth thing, because I'm getting ready to put on the powder, but the fourth thing that I wish I knew about parenting and being a mom, and I only say being a mom because I've never been a dad. So it's no disrespect, but I've just never been a dad. But you have to like show them respect. Just because they're little or young does not mean that you get to disrespect said child, or it doesn't mean that their opinion of things that are going on that will also affect their little lives don't matter. Like, wait. Like, that's great. That's wow. Like, I ain't saying, you know, honey, I gotta go to the store, and you know what I mean, like little shit like that. No, but I'm saying, like, we're gonna move to another state. I feel like that's a conversation you can have with your, you know, littles, even if they are, I'm not saying like 2 or 3, but I'm saying like 11 and 12, you know what I mean, 15, 16. I feel like that's a conversation that needs to be had. So it's just like, respect their little human rights. You know, just because they're young don't mean that they don't have feelings or opinions or, you know, things like that. Not to say that it's going to change the course of, oh, now we're not going to move, because obviously as an adult, if you're moving, there's a reason. But it's just to say, like, you know, consider them. And I think that us as adults, we don't think about that. I know I didn't. I'll speak for myself. I didn't think about that very much. I was just kind of like, this is what has to happen. You know, I'm mom, you're the kid, and this is what has to happen. But that's also conditioning, because that's how I grew up. I didn't grow up with a whole lot of opinions. You know what I mean? Because she give a damn. She give a damn. And not to disrespect or take nothing from her, but she didn't. You know, she was doing things that had to be done for us. And I feel like all of us as parents are, but that don't mean that we can't like run it by them as little people. Make sense? I am getting ready for the purple powder. powder. So it has this little thing. I'm gonna snatch this baby up. Oh. Jeez Louise. Oh, there we go. Ooh. Oh. Let me find out, Huda. Okay. So see, it's very purple. It's really pretty. Like, you know, it's pretty for like a shirt. I don't know if it's gonna be pretty for like under my eyes, but it would be a beautiful shirt color, a beautiful color of a blouse. Okay. So let's get cracking. I don't like these little nets. I'ma just tell the truth and shame the devil. I do not like these little nets. Just be not my type of John. So now this is the thing with Huda Beauty. Do it look good? Yeah, it look good. Hell yeah, it look good. Cause her shit usually do. Is it like a necessity? We ain't gonna go crazy. You know what I'm saying? It do look good, but it's not, to me, in my opinion, it don't look no better than, you know, Blondie. But I guess it's just the color, or desiring the color, like a purple setting powder. I don't know. It ain't horrible. But this is it. This is me putting it on, and then I'll come back with my finished face, because yeah. Okay, what I can say is that it's very extremely brightening. Okay, you dig? Extremely brightening. And I'm gonna keep it for that reason alone. Like, it is very brightening, so I think I'm gonna hold on to it for when I want something that's gonna be like, whoop-pow. Okay, this is the NYX Do Butter. Now, the fifth thing that I wish I knew when I first like started having babies was, I wish I knew like it was a constant learning process. Like, being this new little human's mom is like a constant process, because I don't know, this little human that I helped create and they don't know themselves either. So it's constantly evolving. It's happening in real time. Like real time is happening. And you just make decisions because you feel like that's the best thing for that moment, or that's the best thing for said child. And it's like, yeah, maybe not always, you know what I mean? And that's where it get a little bit scary, because for me it did, just because I wanted to always respect their feelings, but I always wanted to be teaching them and for them to be processing things in a way that they were always growing. But I also didn't want them to be like ignorant. So I kind of was a hard teacher. It was difficult for them to kind of learn from me, because I wasn't learning from them for a long time. It took me a long time to begin to learn with my child, like to feel like the things that you're doing have a purpose and not just feel like, oh, you're just being a little britty brat or whatever, you know what I mean? I wasn't open to the ideologies of they teaching me them while they're learning me, and I'm trying to teach them about the world while I'm learning about the world. So it was just kind of like a teachable moment for myself when I figured out that, like, girl, they don't like, they learning new things every day, and every day things are just changing in the world, and it's shit you just don't know. Like, you just don't know. Like, now I be feeling old sometimes because I talk to my daughter about certain things and she be wanting me to do stuff, and I be like, well, how you do that? And she be like, Mom. And I be like, how you do that? Like, well, really, how you do it? So, you know, once I figured that out, now every day is a learning environment for me with my kids. You know, every time they say, Mom, did you know? And, you know, I'm not too proud to say, no, I didn't know that. Like, really? You should blow me down, motherfucker. Like, tell me, you know, to keep me in the loop. And the same, like having a granddaughter, it's like, you know, keep me in the loop of the things that I otherwise wouldn't know. So it's like we can all, not just from our kids, but just in general, we could all stand to learn, because that's what this life is about, learning, growing. But we could definitely stand to learn from the little people that we put so much energy into to create and put out into the world a certain way. And it's so much that we could learn from those little humans, because then we can kind of learn what they really learned from us, and we can learn the things that they're learning for themselves. Yeah. I just want to say that I have tried so many like expensive mascaras, right? And dare I say that the Milani mascara, the one that I always use with the green tube, and you got to let it get a little bit old. You got to give it a couple of weeks to months, or you got to leave it open, which the only reason I don't want to do that because I don't want bacteria in there and my eyes are really sensitive. But that mascara, chef's fucking kiss. And I be getting all these, I'm trying to find a different one. And I need, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, I'm learning that in 2025. If it ain't broke, just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. And Milani need to be left alone. So those are the 5 things I wish I knew about parenting. And just like let them be themselves. Like, you know, give them the room to be whoever they are. And if you don't agree with who they turn out to be or who they are growing to be, step back. I know it's hard and it's easier said than done, but because the more you press, the more they're going to go that way. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, just give them a life they don't got to heal from. That way you don't have to worry about so much bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if they don't feel like they have to heal and get to know people and deal with trauma on top of just growing, then they tend to make less bad mistakes or bad decisions. But the bottom line is that that's 5 things that I wish I knew before I had to actually do it. Like, you know, I was just being someone's mom, and then I was just like, wait a minute. I don't think I'm doing this right. Even though she'd never say that, but, well, shit, I don't know. She might. She's never said it to me. Okay, so now I'm just finishing up. Did you guys know that stuff? Did you never? Or maybe you don't have kids, and now those are a few things that you can kind of like think about when you have some. Or maybe you already knew that stuff. Like, you know, maybe from your childhood you felt like, I wasn't gonna do none of that shit anyway. You know? Because we're all so different. But at the same time, we're all very alike. So, I don't know. Well, I am using, what is this? This is Revolution Beauty, Americano Brown, and Espresso Nude. And Duck Plump and Bang and Bear in the middle. And this Duck Plump, it get a little bit hot. I want the cinnamon, the clear one, but I haven't went and got it yet. But yeah, I want it. Well, that is it. That's the video. Let me know if you tried this powder. Do you like it? I'm on the fence. I don't know if I'm gonna keep it or not, but I don't know. It is very brightening. I can't say that. And let me see. Let me turn on the light. The makeup does not look bad. It's just it's getting ready to rain out here, so the clouds kind of like made the lighting worse than it usually is. We already know it's usually fucked up, but either way, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, have a good day. I'm gonna finish my cocktail because I had a juicy. Well, come back for another video another time. Bye.
And just to clear the air, I don't give a fuck about how nobody feel about me. Keep feeling it, bitch.